More burials?
More burials. I see at least 3 skulls. This one's a little disturbed.
All right, so picture this. You're standing in Jordan, sun beating down, and in front of you is the treasury at Petra, carved right into those sheer rock cliffs.
Yeah.
It's awe-inspiring, right?
Yeah.
But what if I told you archaeologists just made a discovery that changes everything we thought we knew about this place?
What's fascinating is that this actually isn't the first hidden area discovered around the treasury.
Oh.
Back in 2003, archaeologists found tombs on one side, but getting to the other side, well, let's just say that was impossible at the time.
Oh, wow. So it's like a tale of two sides, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm definitely hooked. What happened next?
Well, this year, they finally got the go-ahead to use ground-penetrating radar.
So like an X-ray for the Earth.
Exactly, and they scanned the area.
Okay, yeah.
The results were crystal clear. I talked to Dr. Richard Bates, he's the geophysicist who led the survey, and he said even he was shocked by how clear the readings were.
I bet. So what did the scans show?
They showed these voids and potential structures that basically mirrored those tombs from '03 on the other side of the treasury. It pretty much guaranteed that digging on that other side was going to be worth it.
Okay, you said worth it, so I'm assuming they found something.
Oh, yeah. They found a tomb completely untouched, just like the 2003 one, with 12 skeletons still intact, pottery, metal objects, everything. This is almost unheard of in Petra.
Wow, are you serious? That's incredible. It's like a time capsule.
It really is. And think about it. Over the centuries, most tombs get disturbed, flash floods, maybe some grave robbers, who knows. But to find one untouched like this, it's a perfect glimpse into how the Nabateans viewed death and burial.
Oh, that's right. The Nabateans, we've talked about them before, the ancient civilization who actually built Petra.
Right. And intact burials are so rare. This discovery gives us a chance to study their rituals, how they treated their dead, what they believed. It's huge for understanding their culture and beliefs, their social structures.
This is like finding a lost library. It's amazing. So tell me more about this tomb. Anything else special about it?
Well, unlike most tombs in Petra, this one had walls dividing the space up, which is really unusual. Internal walls are incredibly rare in Petra's tombs.
So what, like different rooms within the tomb?
Yeah, something like that. And that suggests a more complex social structure than we might have thought, even within the small group of individuals buried there.
Huh. So do we know who these people were? Like, how old are the skeletons?
We're still working with a pretty broad time frame, somewhere between 400 BC and 106 AD.
Wow, that's like saying someone lived during the Roman Empire. That's a really long time.
Exactly. And this period covers a really dynamic period for the Nabateans, a time when they were at their most powerful and influential.
So having this tomb from that exact time period.
It's like getting a peek behind the curtain at a really crucial moment in their history. It could completely change how we view their burial customs, how their society was structured, all because of this one discovery.
It really makes you wonder, who were these people? What made them so special to be buried right next to the treasury? Talk about prime real estate.
And speaking of the treasury, wasn't it in a movie?
Ah, yes. The treasury had its Hollywood debut in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Right. And during the dig, they found something that looked just like the Holy Grail from the film.
Okay, so to be completely accurate, the media definitely had a field day with that whole Indiana Jones connection. What they actually found was a ceramic jug, a pretty standard one, probably from about the 1st century BC, and it was broken.
Oh, and it was near one of the skeletons.
Okay, so not an actual Holy Grail, but still, that's a really cool find. And hey, it just goes to show, even a place as famous as Petra still has secrets. Plus, maybe this jug, along with the other objects they found, that's all stuff that can help figure out who these people were, what they were like, right?
Absolutely. And being right next to the treasury, that makes you wonder, were these people just everyday folks? Remember, we've talked about how the Nabateans were thought to be pretty egalitarian, but this new tomb, it's got archaeologists rethinking that whole idea.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying this discovery kind of throws a wrench into what we thought about Nabatean social structure.
It could, because if these people were important enough to be buried right beside what something was basically a royal mausoleum, well, that might mean their social hierarchy was more, nuanced than we thought. And that's where looking at those skeletal remains, that's really key here.
Oh, right, because they're doing DNA testing and all that.
Yeah.
So what can we learn from, studying their bones?
Well, DNA testing might be able to tell us if these 12 people were related. Maybe it was one family, or even like descendants of some elite lineage. I mean, imagine if their influence, it got passed down for generations. And that's not all. Just by analyzing the skeletons, we can learn about their diet, how healthy they were, maybe even what kind of jobs they had. It's amazing what you can learn from the past just by looking at their bones.
It's like those forensic anthropologists on TV, you know. They just need a couple of bones and boom, they can tell you all sorts of stuff. It's incredible. But there is something that's been bugging me. We've talked about how intact burials are super rare in Petra. So what happened? If most of the tombs were found empty, where did everybody go?
Now that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's puzzled archaeologists for years. There are theories, of course. Some think grave robbers. You know, they hear stories about Petra's legendary wealth. It's tempting. Maybe they're the ones who emptied those tombs. Then there's the whole environmental angle. Remember those flash floods we talked about? Those are intense. They could easily damage those tombs or even wash away any remains.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, we see it even today, how much damage those floods can do.
Exactly.
But still, those theories don't fully explain it, right? Why would some tombs be totally empty? It's almost like the Nabateans just disappeared.
And that is precisely why this untouched tomb is such a game changer. It's like finding a perfectly preserved snapshot of the past. Now we have something to compare those other tombs to. Was it grave robbers, natural disasters, or is there something else going on, something we haven't even thought of? We just don't know yet. But this discovery opens up so many new doors.
It's like a real-life archaeological mystery.
Yeah.
Something straight out of those adventure novels.
It really is.
And speaking of mysteries, we can't forget about that ceramic jug. Okay, so maybe it's not the Holy Grail, but it got people talking. What's the big deal about a simple broken jug anyway?
I know, right? It's easy to get swept up in the whole Indiana Jones thing.
It is. But you're right. Even a simple jug, it can tell us so much about the past. It's all about context.
Context.
Yeah, like think about it. This jug was found near one of the skeletons. Maybe they were even holding it when they were buried. That tells us something, right?
So?
It's not just a random object. It meant something to them. It tells us about their beliefs, their status, maybe even their job. And those little details, those are the things that help us understand who these people were, how they lived their lives. And those stories, well, those are way more exciting than any mythical artifact, right?
Absolutely. So what do you think? What was so special about this jug? Why would someone want to take it with them to, the afterlife? Those are the million-dollar questions. Those are the things that keep archaeologists coming back for more. Every single thing we find, artifacts, bones, even the dirt itself, it's all a clue. It's like piecing together a puzzle, one tiny piece at a time. And as we put those pieces together, well, we get a clearer picture of who the Nabateans really were. And speaking of the big picture, this new tomb, it's actually got us thinking differently about the treasury itself.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, we always hear people calling it a mausoleum, right? But the truth is, nobody really knows for sure what it was used for. It's been a mystery for centuries.
Really? I thought it was a treasury, like where they kept all their valuables.
That's what a lot of people thought, just because the name. But that name, it actually came from Bedouin tribes, and they were the ones who told stories about it holding the treasures of an Egyptian pharaoh.
Oh, wow. I've even heard people say there were bullet holes in that big urn at the top, from treasure hunters trying to get inside.
I've heard that one too, but sadly, no evidence to back it up. It's a good story though, right?
It is a good story.
Yeah.
But even without a secret stash of gold, the treasury is still one of the most incredible buildings in the world. I mean, come on, carved right into a cliff.
Yeah.
How did they even do that?
I know, right? The skill it took, the artistry, the sheer scale of it, it boggles the mind. But what it tells us is that the Nabateans, they didn't just throw up any old building. This building, it meant something. It was a symbol of their power, their ingenuity, a testament to everything their civilization had accomplished. They wanted it to last forever. And now, with this new tomb right next door, well, it's like we're finally starting to see the bigger picture.
Wow. It really is like finding the key to a secret door, leading to a whole other world we never knew existed. And that makes those other unexplored areas, the ones those scans picked up, those are even more exciting now. If one single tomb can teach us so much, who knows what else is out there waiting to be discovered?
Exactly. This is what archaeology is all about. It's not just about what we find, but what we might find next. More tombs, maybe a temple, people's homes, who knows? It really is an adventure, and we're just at the beginning. There's so much more we can learn, that's for sure.
It's like the ancient city of Petra is coming back to life, whispering its secrets to us one discovery at a time. So, to everyone listening, if you're as hooked on this as we are, stay tuned, because who knows what incredible things are still hidden beneath those sands, just waiting to be found.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The story of Petra, it's far from over. And every time we dig a little deeper, well, we learn more about this amazing civilization that continues to amaze us, even thousands of years later.
Well said. So next time you see a picture of that iconic treasury of Petra, remember it's not just a pretty facade. It's a doorway into the past, a place full of mystery and wonder, still revealing its secrets after all these centuries. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. And until next time, keep exploring.